What's up, traders? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option. Today, we're going to break down how NVIDIA affected the market. We're going to preview PCE, and we're going to talk about what's next for the volatility index, and I'm going to give you that one stock to watch. So with that, let's dig in. All right, everybody. On Thursday, the S&P 500 had a really nice day. We closed above 6,500 for the first time ever, closed at a new all-time high. And you got new all-time highs out of the triple Q. Well, almost a new all-time high at triple Q. There's still a little room there for the Qs to run. And IWM continues to, which is the Russell 2000, continues to move higher, continues to grind its way up. As an index, I think it's eventually going to get to 240, 245 before all is said and done. Where am I getting that number from? I'm getting it from the all-time high that we had in November of 2024. That high was 244.98. The close 242.40. 242.40. So that's kind of our target that we're gunning for. And where was that winner? Well, it really wasn't NVIDIA. NVIDIA didn't have a bad day. It was down $1.40. You know, a question I get a lot from people is, hey, NVIDIA had great earnings. Why is it down? Well, there's great and then there's great. This was not Tony the Tiger great. This was good. But when you're a $4.4 trillion company, good isn't good enough. A B plus is not good enough. An A minus isn't good enough. It needs to be an A plus, maybe an A. That's how good NVIDIA earnings need to be. Now, that being said, it's so widely held, so loved, that it did hold up. But I would just place this in the back of your head. NVIDIA raised guidance, beat top line and bottom line. What happens the first time they don't raise guidance? I'm just saying these earnings are something that should be in your attention for NVIDIA investors, and not just NVIDIA investors, for anybody trading the triple Q or the S&P 500, because NVIDIA is like 14% of the triple Q and over 7% of the S&P 500. So NVIDIA, good, not great. What does that get us? Down $1.43. Not as much as it was down overnight, but still down. Now, there were a lot of winners in the grade 8, though. Notably, Google. Google was up 2%. I'm going to circle back to Google in a minute. Microsoft was up. Even, you know, Grandpa Apple didn't have a terrible day. Broadcom boomed higher, and so did Reddit. It was up almost $15 on Thursday. So it was definitely a risk-on day. It was just the money kind of came out of NVIDIA and went to all these other grade 8 stocks. So that's something kind of put in the back of your head. Money didn't leave. It just reallocated, if you will. Now, let's talk VIX. VIX closed 1443. Lowest close since, you know, back in 2020, you know, late 2024. PCE is in the morning. And then the only other major earnings coming up, Broadcom next week, and we have non-farm payrolls. That being said, we've got a long weekend. Monday is Labor Day. We have a shortened week. There is a distinct possibility that VIX could be in the 13s by the end of the day on Friday. And if Broadcom earnings are okay and non-farms are okay, there is a distinct possibility for a 12 VIX. VIX futures still priced pretty aggressively high. The September future only has about 3.5 weeks left, and it's still trading 2 points over the cash index. There's a lot of air to come out of that balloon. I like VIX puts a lot. Previewing PCE, The S&P 500 is pricing in about a, call it a 25-point move. That's probably not expensive enough. That's probably not expensive enough. Especially if PCE comes in hot. PCE comes in hot, we're going to move a lot more than 25 bucks. In line, that's probably fairly priced. If it's really soft, then we could make a quick run to 65.50. So just be on the lookout there. Now, let's talk about the one stock I am watching, and it continues to be Google. Apple, that contract with Apple is going to be such a boon to Google. It has the most reasonable PE out of any of the Mag 7 Grade 8 stocks. I think it's going to 225 and maybe 250. Options are not very expensive in this one. I think Google is going to be, is probably going to pass $3 trillion before the year is done. So I really like Google. I continue to like Google. This is something we own in our ticker highlight show portfolio. And reminder, we're live every Monday. This week it'll be Tuesday. And we give you a pick every week. The other thing I would remind you is that you got to join Leisha Leslie's Small Account Challenge. Learn how she did 6.47 times the return of the S&P 500. And learn all about her lock-solid guarantee she has with her Small Account Challenge. You can click the link right here. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a good one.